So here the question is find H parameters for this network. Okay. So first and foremost what you will do, you will first write the equations relating the H parameters. What are the dependent variables here? V1 and I2. And the independent variables are I1 and V2. Okay. So the H parameters, now you can write H11 I1 plus H12 V2. And I2 will be H21 I1 plus H22 V2. Always remember to first write down the equations because there are so many parameters, and if you don't write the equations you will get confused or you might end up doing some silly mistakes. Okay. So now we can very easily solve. First what we will do, we will take V2 is equal to 0. Okay. Then what will be the condition? 2 ohms will come here, 6 ohms, this is 3 ohms and this is short circuit. I2 will be flowing here, right? So this is 3 ohms, 6 ohms, this is V1 and this is I1. So what will be the first parameter? H11 is equal to V1 by I1. So basically you just have to find out the impedance looking through these terminals, Thevenin's impedance. So what will this be? 2 ohms plus 3 ohms parallel to 6 ohms. So this you are going to get 4 ohms. Then what about H21? This is going to be I2 by I1. This is equal to, you can find by the current division. But one thing you can see, I1 is flowing into this nodes. So I2 should ideally be flowing out of the node. But since it is negative, we are going to use the negative sign. I1 we will leave as it is. I2 is going to be minus the other side resistance divided by the sum of resistances into the total current. So this will give you minus 6 by 9 or minus 2 by 3. So now we have H11 and H21. What is the next step? Here you can take I1 is equal to 0. So what will be the circuit in this case? We have 6 ohms here. This is 3 ohms. I2 will be flowing into the 2-port network. Here you have V2 and here you have V1. Okay. Now what will be H12 is equal to V1 by V2. Here you can use the voltage division rule. V2 is the total voltage. V1 you can write in terms of the total voltage, that is V2. So what will it be? 6 divided by 6 plus 3 into V2 divided by V2. So what are you going to get? 2 by 3. Finally, H22. This is given by I2 by V2. This is the admittance, the output side admittance. So the impedance is 6 plus 3, 9. So the admittance will be 1 by 9. Okay. So this is how you find out the H parameters. Next question we have, given Z parameters 4025, find the H parameters. So let us see how to find this. So we have the Z parameters. Z parameters means V1 and V2 will be expressed in terms of I1 and I2, right? So V1 is equal to Z11 I1 plus Z12 I2, but we already know Z11 and Z12, what is it? 4 I1 plus 0 I2. So we will write 4 I1. Then what about V2? This is given by 2 I1 plus 5 I2 from the second row of the impedance matrix. Okay. So these are the known equations. This is equation 1 and this is equation 2. Now what should we find? We have to find the H parameters. So the H parameter equations are going to be V1 and I2. V1 is equal to H11 I1 plus H12 V2, and I2 is going to be H21 I1 plus H22 V2. So first we will see H11 and H21, that means making V2 is equal to 0. So what will happen when you make V2 is equal to 0? The equation 1 will remain as it is. V1 is equal to 4 I1. This is equation 1. And the equation 2 will become 2 I1 plus 5 I2 is equal to 0. Now what we want? H11 is equal to V1 by I1 when V2 is equal to 0. This you can get from equation 1, which is 4. Okay. Then what about H21? This is going to be I2 by I1 when V2 is equal to 0. Now from this second equation, you can write I2 in terms of I1. What will it be? Minus 2 by 5 I1 divided by I1. So you're going to get minus 2 by 5. Then what about the next case? I1 is equal to 0. Then you can find what you can find, H12 and H22. Now when I1 is equal to 0, what will happen to equation 1 and equation 2, right? So equation 1 will become V1 is also equal to 0, and equation 2 will become V2 is equal to 5I2. So now what will be H12? This is V1 by V2 when I1 is equal to 0. Since V1 is 0, H12 will be 0. Then what about H22? This is going to be I2 by V2 when I1 is 0. So from the second equation, I2 by V2, you are going to get 1 by 5. So this is how you can solve. When one set of parameters is given, you can get the other set of parameters. The next question, given V1 is equal to 60 I1 plus 20 I2, V2 is 20 I1 plus 40 I2. Find the ABCD parameters. So here also the Z parameters are given and we have to find out the ABCD parameters, right? So first you write down the ABCD parameter equations. What will be the dependent variables? V1 and I1. So this is equal to A V2 minus B I2, and this is equal to C V2 minus D I2. Okay. So we took the current like this flowing into the two-port network and voltages V1 and V2. Now if you make I2 as 0, then you can find A and C. Okay. So first we will take I2 is equal to 0. Then what will happen to these equations, V1 and V2, the Z parameter equations? We will write V1 is equal to 60 I1. This will be the first equation, and V2 is equal to 20 I1. This is the second equation. So from here you are going to get what is A? V1 by V2 when I2 is equal to 0. This will give you V1 is 60 I1 and V2 is 20 I1. So you're going to get 3. A is equal to 3. Next C. C is what? I1 by V2 when I2 is equal to 0. So I1 we will leave as it is. V2 is 20 I1. So you're going to get 1 by 20. So now we have A and C. Next we will find out B and D. So we can find out B and D by taking V2 is equal to 0. So V2 is equal to 0 will give this equations, how they will change we will write. Okay. The first equation will remain as it is. V1 is equal to 60 I1 plus 20 I2. Next second equation is going to become 0 is equal to 20 I1 plus 40 I2. This is the first and second equation. Okay. So now what is the expression for B? B is equal to V1 divided by minus I2 when V2 is equal to 0. So you can write instead of V1 you substitute 60 I1 plus 20 I2 divided by minus I2. But from equation 2 you can write I2 in terms of I1 as minus I1 by 2, or I1 in terms of I2 as minus 2 I2. Okay. So here if you substitute I1 as minus 2 I2, what you're going to get? Minus 20 I2 plus 20 I2 by minus I2. This will give you 100. This is C. This is B. Then what about D? D is equal to I1 by minus I2 when V2 is equal to 0. So I1 we saw minus 2 I2 divided by minus I2 will give you